walking, and a car will pull over up ahead and, you know, ask me where I'm going. And I'm a street game kid, so I can look in the car and, you know, and I look in the eye, and I can see whether it saves me to get in that car or not, you know, what. So I depend on my intuition, my instinct. The street was the best education I ever got in my life. You know, my BA at UMass only supplemented that, you know, and that's why I was able to do the streets when I was walking with them. All that is just a street kid. I'm still a street kid, but I have greater guidance now. I was misguided before. My rebellion was warranted. My rebellion, anybody you see out there in the streets, they're just rebelling against the system that they find repulsive. And it's warranted, but it's misguided. That's all. You know. So, let's have that video. Let's look at that video and see how I got to be on my one people, one earth. All right, yeah.
Tiny seed in the ground. If you don't see it, you forget about it. And before you know it, there is something happening. It's bubbling up. And then there's this little plant. And before you know it, it gets bigger and bigger. And there's an oak tree. But we didn't have to do anything. There was a germ that we started, a thought, an idea. And I think that's what we have to remember as human beings. So 2012 for me is something absolutely fantastic. It means that if we choose, we can collectively make the axis of the earth shift by pouring more love into what it is that we do.
On December 21st, 2012, our planet will be in exact cosmic alignment with our sun and a recently discovered black hole at the center of our galaxy, the Milky Way. This great convergence takes place only once every 25,800 years. It is an unprecedented and unrepeatable moment in time. Many people have speculated about this extraordinary event and what it could mean to humanity. Einstein suggested a possible pole shift where north and south poles will switch positions, causing catastrophic geographical effects. Impossible? Not really. It's happened before, 800 million years ago.
But one thing that really got me thinking about it more was the earthquake in Japan. Because of the earthquake was so big that it actually shifted the Earth's axis by like 4 degrees or something. And you know, 4 degrees may not seem like much, but if you think about it in terms of the surface of the Earth, it actually becomes, you know, a couple of miles, and you know, a couple of miles of melted ice can do quite a bit.
The Mayans believe this long count, the end of their calendar, is the end of days, ushering in a new era.
The critical time that we're in, that's what it means to us, a consciousness, a unity in thought, us behaving as one people as opposed to individuals. For us, that's what it means. For us, that's what we're hoping. You know, that's what we're praying for, is that we can all act as one for the good of the earth and the good of mankind.
Some spiritualists believe this is the beginning of a transformative time for humanity, that a new era of enlightenment begins with this alignment. The magic of the 2012 convergence, Mayan prophecy, lies not in the possibility of impending planetary doom, but in its ability to focus the collective attentions and awareness of millions of people all over the world on one specific, predetermined point in time. This is not just an astrological event, but an unprecedented convergence of people, minds, cultures, and religions. It is a clarion call for humanity. Over 25,000 800 years in the making. What will this moment look and feel like in real time?
My name is Kimberly Marshall, and I'm the director for this project.
And I'm Neil Lee, technical director for the project.
And we're making an interactive documentary called Children of the Sun, a gathering at the end of time. This journey will be led by international peace builder Brother NorthStar, and we'll be capturing the magic of this moment as our production team joins Brother NorthStar in Brazil, travels to Senegal, Morocco, to the Great Pyramids of Egypt on December 24th.
We'll stop there. Great Pyramids of Egypt. 2012, if you don't understand that, that means that it reached the end of a 26,000 year period, 25,000 and some, hundreds. Let's just say 26,000 period. And we moved from out of a moon cycle into now back into a sun cycle. And there's a whole lot of fear around the moon and the darkness and things, the way things happen, but they're complementary. They're one and the same, And so what we learned from the moon cycle and all the catastrophes, all the genocides, all of the inhumanities, all of that kind of stuff, we take now with the light of day on it, and we're able to sort it out and figure it out much better coming into this cycle. A lot of people will be coming into an awakening just on their own. There's many things that trigger. There are certain things that trigger us. For me, what made me step out was 911. When 9/11 happened, and I'm looking at it on television, I took it a lot different than most people. I was like, I heard clearly my assignment, to go full time as a peace builder, because I had been walking with them, but I heard clearly then to step out on faith, and I could not cooperate with the direction that the planet was going in, and so we bomb ourselves to give ourselves permission, to get your permission to go to war, and so New World Order is being perpetuated upon us. And this order that they're talking about, and I promise you, if they were talking about a New World Order where everybody would be taken care of, everybody would have everything they need, the climate, the earth would be sustainable, the air would be nice, fresh, and clean, the water would be nice, fresh, and clean, I would be a slave to that. I would. If that was the order they were talking about, I would submit myself to that. But that's not what they're talking about. That's not what they're talking about. No. They are sucking up all the life out of the planet and marketing it. So the air is up for market, the earth is up for market, the water is up for market. All the things, how that song goes, all the good things in life are free. Not anymore. And so they haven't figured out a way to market the sun, but they're working on that. They don't have a meter on that. And I can't cooperate and help that kind of, system along, You have people like Larry Buell and Nakomo. They have the Earthlands out there. There's an eco-village. You have organic farming. They're off the grid with solar energy. And intentional communities is where to go, because what is life? What is life but the first intentional community? Proton, hydrogen, helium, carbon. These are all people. These are people. These are persons. Intelligent. It's an intelligence that come together to bond a community called life. And it's in everything. It's in everything. That's what connects us to all of creation. This life force that we have in us is in everything. It's in everything's DNA. It's part of our DNA. You know? So you have an anti-life force. Yeah. These are brothers and sisters of ours. They are family, but they are living in intrepid fear because they're separated. They're separated. Why, thank you. Thank you very much, Sharon. They're ensconced in a fear, a hopeless fear, and that's what's driving the planet. Everything is based on fear. And so automatically what I do flies in the face of the direction they're going in. They're going in the direction of fear. I'm walking in the direction of faith. And I'm saying that, you know, I don't need your exploitation, you know. I could play ball and go to the NBA and live like, you know, like kings and queens, or I could do something that they could use to market, to make you forget that, you know, they're destroying the planet. Any of us can do that. You know, if we want to acquiesce, any of us can go and become a star, what they call a star. That's why I'm the NorthStar. I'm the NorthStar. You know, and I aspire to be their star, but I can't be their star on those terms. Some part of me still want to be a part of the establishment. I still yearn. But then when I get close and I smell the funk, the fear, I'm like, no, I gotta keep doing what I'm doing, you know. So even if I lose myself and you find me on television one day on a sitcom, that very well can happen, you know. And, you know, it won't last. It wouldn't last long with me because I'm self-conditioned. I'm self-programmed, you know. And even though I can still fall into traps, the programming that I have is gonna make me say, man, you know what? Y'all can take that sitcom. Yeah. And it's that type of thing. But you don't get to Bill Cosby's level unless you are their spokesperson, you know, for Jello pudding and Coca-Cola, you know. And then when you turn around, by the time they realize that, hey, you know what, you a sleeper. We've been sleeping on you. You waking people up, you know. The Cosby Show started waking up people, and now you want to buy NBC, you know. No. Nobody whose television programs spawn all these black shows on television can own their own station like that. Now, when he was non-threatening, that's how he slipped in, because he was non-threatening. He didn't, he didn't raise his voice so much. He just sold his Jello pudding and a Coke and a smile. You know? And now I've seen the greatest character assassination I've ever seen in history. I've never seen such a thorough job. That's what makes me know, and that's what makes me know that, you know, there's a slight hand involved in some of these things, you know. I don't know if he's guilty or not, but he's being tried in the court of public opinion. That's suspect for me. That's suspect for me. Plus, he's a homeboy from Philadelphia. Good-looking homeboys don't have to drug people to get sex, you know. And then he was good-looking to begin with, and he can have women just on his ability to speak, you know, and be funny and humorous, you know. You don't have a hard time coming up with women when you're like the charismatic as Bill Cosby. But then when you become rich and famous, and women are coming at you 40 going north, what do you need drugs for to drug somebody? So there's just some things that don't make sense, but it tells me that you know, that the Uranus, it's a snake eating his own tail, you know. I saw the snake eating his own tail when the IRS was under investigation. That's a snake nibbling on his own tail now, you know. Whistleblowers blew on the Federal Reserve, you know. And so there's a whole lot of people that was, you know, unreachable, untouchable, are now reachable and touchable. That's the time we're living in, is because it's receding. That whole thing is receding, and you're going to see more exposures of a lot of people that you didn't think would ever come falling to the ground. You know, so it's easy to go after politicians. It's easy to go after movie stars. It's easy to go after these people who are in the public eye. I want to see somebody from the Bilderberg group come falling to the ground. I want to see somebody from the Trilateral Commission, you know, come falling to the ground. You know, that's when you're going to begin to see some real changes taking place. You know, so it's one people. The thermometer just dropped in. One people! One, one people! One, one people! One. We want to take let you get a break and have some food and refreshment in the back, and we'll reconvene in about 15 minutes. Is that fine? Yeah. All right. We're gonna go into a discussion, because I asked people to make a note of anything that I said that they would like to question me on or challenge me on or anything like that. Something they think I could say better that I didn't say the first time. A few things that have just happened over there we just talked about. When you look at all the people all over the planet that I've communed with, you know, my job is to allow me to commune in various different natural wonder places and around various different people of all different backgrounds. And what I like is going to vortexes, what they call vortexes, high energy places, you know, and those are my favorites, and I've been to some incredible places in my life, all just based on faith. But when I did the One People, One Earth World Pilgrimage, I would not check a box when I got into the airport. I would not say I was there for business, and I didn't say I was there as a tourist. You know, they said, well, you didn't check a box. Well, those boxes don't apply to me. You know, what are you here for? You know, I told them I was here as a peace pilgrim, you know, coming into the country to offer prayer at certain sites. You know, of course, they can't trust that. They have to investigate everything because the world is built on fear. You know, and the attendant, the representative would say, well, let me get my supervisor. You know, and the supervisor would come and say, and Mr. Smith, you know, what do you want into our country? You know, and I told him, well, I'm on a One People, One Earth World Pilgrimage Tour, and I'm going to all the sacred sites around the planet, you know, to offer prayer, you know, and they rummage through my passport. You know, they look through my passport, and then they look at me. yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. And some had to Google me, some had to go and Google and, you know, and make sure I was authentic, you know. And but at the end of the day, after 2 2.5 hours or 3 hours detainment, and I would patiently wait, and I'd answer their questions, you know, because I know the fear, I know where they're coming from, you know, so I have to have faith. Faith has to have patience for fear. And that's what I would do. I would just sit there and wait, and after they felt satisfied, they would come and say, here's your passport, Mr. Smith, you're welcome to our country, and thank you for the work you're doing.
All right.
Yeah. That, and you know, at the time I had dreadlocks, you know, and so, you know, dreadlock man showing up at the airport, you know, and talking about he's doing spiritual work, you know, and, you know, I'm not a basketball player, I'm not a priest, I'm not an imam, I'm not some dignitary from the United States, I'm not any of these things, you know. It's just black man coming through their country with no, where do you get your money from? You know, donations, you know. What's the name of your organization? One People, One Earth. Where is it located? It's located everywhere. It's located everywhere. You know, you could be One People, One Earth. You could be one of my Jonas. You know, it's all on faith. And they go, I'll be back. Let me do that. It was fun. It was really fun. The detainments were fun. All that was fun, except late at night. You know, it could be a little tiresome, but you still had to maintain your posture, your composure of faith. You know, and let the love light shine. You know, thank you very much. Well, thank you, Mr. Smith, and thank you for the work that you're doing. That's what I would give at the end of that. So, children of the sun, for One People, One Earth. It is just like I said, non-sectarian way of saying people of light working for heaven on earth. And it's a zeitgeist. It's everywhere you go in the planet. I don't care if you got the faith to step out there. I'm not saying you got to go and do what I did, but anytime you find yourself vulnerable in a situation, if you have the faith, you will find that there's family everywhere. Everywhere. The language is no barrier. Language don't have nothing to do with nothing. Love got it all covered. And when I say love, I don't mean that in the theological sense. I'm talking about, oh, well, the theological sense is just, the word has just been burnt out, misused, and people are like, love, you know. The romantic sense, love, I don't want to have nothing to do with love. You know, love in the scientific sense, love in the sense that it is the law. Love is universal law. You know, it's not so much, you know, I love you. I can say I love you, and you can say, how could you love me? You don't even know me. You know, all I know is your life. That's all I need to know about you is your life. You know, I love life. Are you living? Well, I love you. I love life. I'm a minister that promotes life. I love you. And no, I don't know your characteristics and your idiosyncrasies and your you know, I'm getting to your psychosis and all that. We all got stuff, you know. But the fact that all life forms, all life, I love life. I'm here to promote life, propagate life. And so that's what life is built on. That's what life is founded on. It's founded on these people. What is that? Hydrogen, electron, what is it? The hydrogen, electrons, carbon, oxygen, thank you. These are people. These are all individual conscious entities that come together and bonded to form an intentional community called life. And that's what we're living. That's what we got. You know, so when I see another life form, I see it as a person. I see a mosquito, and I know this dude's out to drink my blood. I know this dude got vampire intention, you know, and he wants my blood without asking my permission. He don't come to me and say, you know, Mr. NorthStar, I need blood to make lava. They don't negotiate like that. They just land on you and stuff, you know, and my instinct is to go, bah, and kill it. But that mosquito is a person. It is a life. It is a life that has the same elements, periodic table of elements that I got, you know? So when I step on a blade of grass, I understand that we're violent in ways that we cannot even comprehend at this time. You can't air walk, you can't not breathe, you can't not, when you breathe in and out, you know, life is destroyed, and this is the way it is. So existence is violence. I exist, therefore I am violent, you know, in ways that I have not been able to comprehend. But the things that I'm conscious of, I can't help what I'm not conscious of, but what I am conscious of is that a squirrel, a rabbit, a dog, a cat, when I see these animals, I see a person. I see a person. A cell is a person. Each cell in your body is one person. It is a person that knows what it wants to eat better than you know what you should be eating. You put a cell, microbiologist has already found out, if you put a cell on a petri dish and put celery on one end and you put fried chicken on the other, now me, I'll go for the fried chicken. But the cell goes for where the life is at. The cell starts moving toward the watery celery. The cell has everything you got. The cell's got eyes, a brain, a spine, backbone. A cell is a person. And guess what? You got 10 trillion of them in your body. And they all get along perfectly. That's why we can learn a lot from our body in terms of one people, one earth, because it all starts with us, you know, inside. Each one of those cells got a designated organ that they live in, that they're designated to. That's their assignment, to be a part of that organ. The heart has its own designated cells, the lungs, the kidneys, the brain. You know, heart cell can't go to the brain. What you want up here? What you want up here? You belong in the heart. You can't come in here. You know, you weren't designed, it's not in your DNA to be a part of the brain. We have our own. So those are nation states. So each cell is a person. And so I got 10 trillion of them in my body, all saying, one Smitty, one person. You know, and we all want to go in the same direction. We want to get the life-sustaining things, you know. And out of conditioning, I don't always go for the life-sustaining things. I go for what my appetite or condition, desire, and crave. But the cell knows exactly what we should be partaking of in order to sustain itself. It's an intelligent person, each cell in our body, right? All right, so if the cells can do that, I'm saying we can do that. So when people ask me, how are you going to get one people, one earth? How? How is the question that everybody asks. How are you going to do this? When I set out to go around the world, I didn't ask how. How is none of my business. I make up my mind I'm going to do something, and so it is written, so it is done. As it is written in the mind, so it is done. The how, I let the higher forces work out the how. How are we going to become one people, one earth? That's none of my business, you know. But we work out the how. So what we want to do right now is discuss who racism is, what racism is, why racism is, and how it continues to exist, and what we could do to abolish it. And those are the questions we start with. Who is racism? Who is it? You know, I'll offer the first thought on that. You know, it's an illusion. It's an imposter. You know, because there's no such thing as races. There's no such thing. It's just humanity. So it's an imposter. Anyone else want to offer something to that? Or against that? Yes, sir.
I couldn't help but think when you said that, somebody probably had met Juanita Nelson and Wally Nelson.
Yes.
We just had a big memorial service for Juanita anyway. And we played this recording at the beginning where she says, Wally always had this t-shirt he liked more than any other t-shirt. And on it, it had the words black in black letters, and red in red letters, and yellow in yellow letters, and white in white letters. She said, and they were all crossed out except for one at the bottom that said human in green letters.
Green letters. That's a nice offer, thank you. Anyone else want to offer a thought on who racism is?
I like your definition about racism as fear.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
That you're an abolitionist.
Fear.
Of fear.
Yes. Right. All the ism and schism, if you pull off those costumes of ism and schism, what you got there is fear. It's just a person, it's just a thought that's afraid of being, into the light, or connected. Yes.
Yeah, but if you've got that kind of structured into a whole culture and built into whole systems, like housing systems, job, employment systems, then you got racism. If it's based on skin color, which as we know is pretty ethereal.
Ethereal,
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to what is racism? I offer you that it is a device used, it's a tool to separate. Because separation serves who? It serves who? Who deserves it? Does racism serve me? Does it serve ghetto, the hoods?
People in power.
People in power.
People with money.
So that is it's a device, a tool to separate. And then why?
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
That I think that racism in some ways serves me, maybe not well, but as a white person, I enjoy the benefits of racism.
That's it? Well, I want to thank you for a very refreshing honesty there. That's very refreshing to have that kind of honesty. If it was, it's not that, because if it was, if it, like some whites would say, if it was you, if it was black and you were in control,